Well, this has been a very exciting week in the world of commercial pinball with two of the most hyped companies revealing new games this week. In fact, both dropping trailers today. Of course, yesterday we found out about Barrels of Fun and their second game, Dune Pinball. And today, Stern finally gave the official unveiling of the long-awaited King Kong, the Myth of Terror Island. Did these games live up to the hype? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Michael B. And in today's video, we're talking about the two newest additions to the world of pinball. Of course, Barrels of Fun Dune and the long-awaited King Kong, the Myth of Terror Island. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. These are two themes I wasn't super excited about, but would the gameplay and the actual machine reveal change my mind? Before we get into that, I want to ask you guys to do me a huge favor. If you like the video, please consider subscribing, click the bell for notification, and tell your friends about me. So first up, we've got the announcement from Barrels of Fun. We officially found out about it yesterday. One of our good buddies and probably the most recognizable home arcade content creator of all time, Cool Toy, actually went out to Houston to check out the unveiling of Barrels of Fun Dune Pinball. Now, a lot of people were kind of surprised by the title and the fact that this actually had to do with the new movie. There's a lot of assumptions made when a company first starts out. You think you know their identity. The first game being Labyrinth, you think, oh, this is all going to be classic, retro, niche stuff. But in fact, they're going with a very sci-fi, niche-inspired theme, but based on a very popular new movie. So it's kind of not what people were expecting, but still very cool for Dune fans. Me personally, I've never read the books, I've never watched the movies. It's not for me, but I can say, looking at this table itself, I called it a table, it's a machine. I don't know how the theme integration works, but looking at the machine itself, the game looks absolutely incredible. I mean, Labyrinth is a tough but very fun game to play. This one does everything you anticipated doing, including the sandworm, or as people call it, the butthole eating the ball. There's all kinds of just really super cool features. I love this idea of having to hold the action button and then go back and forth on the flippers. I find myself doing this on Godzilla all the time while I'm trying to power up my Godzilla breath, so it just makes perfect sense. Of course, like in the first game they did, you'll see that third actual screen in the background showing some movie animations. You can see the explosion there. Lots of fun ramps, lots of fun shots. I think Dune looks like a really good game, but still for theme for me, this does absolutely nothing. Like this pulsing thing right now and the giant sandworm butthole coming up to drop out the ball. I don't understand what it's for, but man, it looks friggin' cool. Power over spice is power over everything. I have no idea what that means. When I think spice, I think of the Spice Girls. Spice up your life. Anyways, Dune Pinball Machine pre-order, you're going to have to drop $2,000 as your deposit on this one. Total overall price, $11,600 USD. You know how when James Hates Everything says pinball machines cost $15,000? These are the ones he's talking about, not all pinball machines. Anyways, we can take a look at a couple pictures here. The pinball machine itself has a lot of the movie art on it. So there's the big 3 thing. One of the really cool features is, of course, all the powder coating that you'll see on the machine has this sand grain to it. So it's all about sand, or maybe that's supposed to be spice. I have no friggin' idea. Again, I don't know the movies. So moving along, there's one side of the machine, and I will say the theme changes drastically from one side to the next, because if you go over here and you look at this side, it's a complete blue. So you go from one side that's a little bit colorful to the other side that's a little bit different. I don't know how that's going to be received. Me personally, I like a theme that kind of all ties together. The actual machine itself, there's the sand or spice powder coating they're doing, the gold flakes. I think that looks really, really cool. But then again, I'm not a powder coating guy. I don't really care about that personally. And here, of course, is the play field. Let's see if we can blow that up for people. Oh my God. So here's the playfield itself, and I mean, at first glance, the art doesn't necessarily do a lot for me. This is scenes from the movie, I'm assuming, with an artistic vision. I mean, of course, it's Dune, so there's a lot of sand and a lot of bland colors. I do like how the blue and the sun kind of, and the red there kind of mix that up. But, you know, they've got some very, very cool features back there. I don't know if it sees very well, but you've got the giant sandworm right here on this piece right here. There's another sandworm there. You've got these caverns you can kind of watch the balls go through. This has 3 flippers, 6 balls total, lots of fun ramps. It looks like it could be a fun game. Me personally, again, this is a theme that I have zero connection with, but I had a lot of fun playing Labyrinth. Labyrinth was definitely more my jam being an 80s kid, so I'm excited to get out and try this one on location when I get a chance. So let's go through some of the features here. 3 flippers, 6 balls, like I just mentioned. Horizon atmospheric lighting. I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing that's kind of like Pin Stadium or like the new lighting Stern uses. All new RGB LED low profile inner cabinet lighting system for Arcus day night lighting effects. Playfield insert lamps and general illumination lamps. Everglass, high glass, decal art, infinity glass. So this is like the Stern premium glass that they sell. So this is their own version. They've got their own shaker motor now called the Thunder from Down Under shaker motor. Factory installed inner art blade. So you're getting pretty much like a limited edition machine here. 15.6-inch HD LCD display, flanked by a 5/14 Kenwood full-range stereo speakers with interactive full RGB illumination. What is this? JBL Stage 8 cabinet subwoofer. The cabinet already comes with a subwoofer. Polyester metal-coated cabinet armor and matching speaker. Panel with laser-cut sandworm pattern speaker grills. 14.9-inch LCD backboard physical display. We talked about this, one of the coolest things they did with Labyrinth. Total retail, $11,600, and you will be billed and notified about shipping approximately 4 weeks before shipping. So guys, I'm going to be honest, this wasn't the theme I was hoping for Barrels of Fun. I talked about assumptions earlier, and when Barrels first came out and their first game was Labyrinth, I said, oh, okay, this company is going to be completely off the radar. They're not going to be like other pinball companies. They're doing super niche titles, and this is a super niche title, but it's still a modern blockbuster movie, so it kind of caught me off guard. When I originally found out it was going to be Dune, I for some reason thought it was going to be the older Dune movie, and I was like, that's even weirder. But no, it is the new one with Timothée Chalamet. Again, this is a movie book series I have no history with. This is not something I'm going to run out and get, or like I'm super excited about, but I am excited about the layout, the play field. I'm very excited to see how it plays. And like I mentioned, our buddy Cool Toy actually did go out to the unboxing and the unveiling in Houston this past week. So keep an eye on his channel for coverage on Dune Pinball. See how it compares to the Labyrinth Pinball, which he actually owns as well. And I'm interested to get his take. So I'll leave a link to Cool Toy's channel down in the description below. So moving on, we've got our second game, and you guys must know by now, I'm a huge Stern mark. I'm also a huge Keith Elwin mark, as I currently own 2 of his Stern pinball machines, Jurassic Park and Godzilla. Of course, this is what a lot of people are considering the sister machine to Godzilla because they've been tied for so long. This is Godzilla, the Myth of Terror Island, and we finally get a look at what the machine is. In the preview or the teaser trailer, we got to see that gong there the other day, but now we get to see the full table. There's lots of really cool shots, lots of really cool mechs and toys on the premium. The Pro actually looks to hold up pretty well, but you are getting it downgraded massively with what's actually on the playfield in terms of the toys and stuff, and I'm interested to see how the Godzilla mech at the back works. I know it's static, but I want to know how the actual multi-ball works. Now again, even though I'm a huge Stern and Keith Elwin mark, I've just never been a King Kong guy. I don't know why. I never got into the movies other than Godzilla vs. Kong. I've watched the original. I watched the dreadful movie. A lot of people are praising it now, the one with Jack Black a couple of years ago, but I just never got into King Kong. I've never found it interesting. So Even though I knew Keith Elwin was doing this, it's just a theme that doesn't resonate with me. But my God, does this game look friggin' cool? So Stern have done a full game reveal as well as the game trailer you just saw on their page. This machine has count them, 5 flippers, 6 balls. This looks absolutely incredible. It's designed, like we said, by Keith Elwin, which has been widely reported on. There's the man himself, designed my 2 pinball machines like we talked about already. The art looks incredible. A lot of people were concerned that Zombie Yeti wasn't going to be working on it. Zombie Yeti is one of 3 people working on it. The KO on the actual molded piece is there as well. So the artwork looks really good. One thing of note, they do not have any of the classic film film to use for the backglass and DMD. So this is going to kind of be like a Jurassic Park thing where they came up with their all new original animated story that they're telling during the game. So no classic movie clips, no classic callouts. They've got their own done. In fact, one of the guys from Impractical Jokers is doing some of the callouts. The shot selection just looks absolutely wild on this. Keith Elwin is just so inventive. That punch back King Kong punch there. Of course, this drops down into a very fun ramp. Your multi-ball is going to be collected in that train up there, very similar to Godzilla, where the 3 balls were collected on top of the bridge. And then on the other side of the playfield, there's actually a spider which captures the ball and can unlock a multi-ball as well. The gong apparently summons Godzilla. There's also a very cool slingshot up to it's not a sling, but there's actually a very cool shot up into, I can't remember the name of the ramp, but it goes up into that biplane ramp. So lots of really friggin' cool stuff here. And I just love everything about it. I love the artwork. I love the color scheme. I think they took a theme that, in my opinion, could have been super boring, and they just made it so lively and exciting. Look at this ramp, not a ramp, but an outlane that also has a blocker coming down there. And I want to take a look at the playfield in a minute, because the playfield is actually a callback to a classic Data East playfield. This is not the first time they did that with Jurassic Park. They wanted to throw some homage to the original Jurassic Park, and they brought in some stuff from the Data East there. There's some art in the playfield that actually shows that as well. So very, very cool looking pinball machine. Here we're going to look at the Pro, and as you can see, it plays very similar, a lot of the same features. But of course, like we mentioned, that Godzilla mech back there is static. You don't have the breakaway rail car that collects your multi-ball, so that's confirmed. There's no gong. It's just, you know, kind of there. You still get the biplane, but it's a different version of the biplane, and there's no, you know, toy spider. So that's the big difference. And of course, the art is very different as well. This one illustrated by Kevin O'Connor, Greg, I didn't see that, Greg Freeses, and then of course, Jeremy Packard. So very cool looking machines, very cool looking theme. I'm very excited for Kong. So let's start out and take a look at the Pro machine here. So first off, I want to take a look at the actual playfield here. You'll notice this section right here, which is actually very iconic. You see what I did there? So if you go back and take a look at the Data East King Kong machine, you're going to notice something very similar with the playfield. Take a look down there right in front of the flippers. The very first part of the playfield, you're going to see King Kong spelled pretty much the exact same way, and the same gates opening to Kong. I'll go back here now to the pictures. Where is it? Right here. You can take a look at the playfield. You probably can't see it as well, but it's basically an homage to the Data East one, which I think is actually an homage to another pinball machine as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to show you this on the Canadian retailer. It's a little bit easier to get to the pictures for than the Stern website, believe it or not, for the actual machine. So here is the Pro artwork, and I got to say, guys, I actually really, really like this. So here we have the side artwork. You can see that right there you've got a picture of Kong fighting a monster. I love the color scheme there, going from the purple, the pink, the orange, to the red, back to the purple. I mean, this just looks like an absolutely beautiful machine. There's the back glass, King Kong, the Myth of Terror Island. Let's take a look at some of the other features, the playfield on this one. First, let's see if we can find the other side. So We'll go here. There's the front of the machine, which looks very cool, very different from Dune. You can see the cohesion that I talked about a little bit earlier. There's the other side. It's pretty much a mirror image of what you saw there. I think this would look good in anybody's game room and home. There, of course, like we talked about, is the play field. Let's boost this up. Like I said there, you've got the King Kong right there, and then everything goes up to the static machine there. A very busy but very fun-looking play field. And guys, here we have the premium machine. It's definitely going for a completely different art style, but I still think it looks absolutely incredible. You've got a much different back glass. I think I actually prefer this back glass to the one with the Pro. I think I like the Pro side artwork better. I don't know. I'm going to need more time to think about it. But again, the color scheme looks absolutely fantastic. And as we saw in the featurette video, there's so much cool shit going on in the machine. Again, there's the other side of the machine. Again, another beautiful game to have in your game room. There's the front of the machine, so still super cohesive. And then there's another look at the playfield, which we talked about earlier. This one is significantly different than the Pro playfield. So you guys are out there wondering, what's the difference in price? So for your premium, you're looking at $9,699, $9,700 US for the premium. And then the Pro, if I'm not mistaken, is $7,000. Yeah, look at that. No, hold on. Yes, $7,000. So super pricey, but what do you get for your extra $2,700? So, of course, right on Stern's website, you can find the matrix to find out what the difference is in the game versions. Of course, custom sculpted King Kong reacts to player actions through animatronic animation software. I'm guessing this is pretty similar to what they did with Dungeons & Dragons. Guess what? You do not get that with the Pro. You just get the sculpted piece. Hey, that's better than just a standee, right? Anyways, the custom sculpted static King Kong, only available on the Pro. You also don't get the giant spider mech. That's not available on the Pro. What else is missing? Summon Kong by hitting the custom sculpted gong, so you don't get the gong kinetic bash toy. That's replaced by a standee type figure. Summon Gong, where is this? Lock pinballs into an elevated New York City train car. We covered that. Also not in the Pro version. New York City train station middle ramp can divert pinballs to lock into an elevated New York City train car. That's also not there. Custom sculpted biplane toy aims its attack at Kong. Also not available. So it looks like it is going to be toys, but some of these are very interesting mechs. I don't know how much they'll change the game, but it's kind of like Godzilla. It's mechs that you kind of want and toys that you kind of want. I mean, for me with Godzilla, the building going down and coming up was so friggin' important, and especially the breakaway ramp piece where the bridge actually collapsed. Maybe these won't be as impactful. Maybe you can lean Pro on this, especially with the great artwork. I don't know. It's up to you. And guys, that is King Kong. This looks like it's going to be a very, very fun game. Am I going to be putting down a deposit? Of course not. I'm Mikey Two Pins. I don't have that kind of cheddar, but I'm very eagerly anticipating getting a chance to play this. Again, not my favorite theme, but man, Stern just knows how to make really cool pinball, and Keith Elwin just doesn't miss. He just keeps making great game after great game. Jaws, fantastic. Jurassic Park, fantastic. Iron Maiden, fantastic. Godzilla, fantastic. Also, Avengers Infinity Quest, that's probably my least favorite of the games he's made, but even then, that's still really a great game, and it looks like that tradition is going to continue here with King Kong. So anyways, guys, that's my look at this week's two new pinball releases. Of course, Barrel of Fun Dune, for me, was kind of a disappointment finding out what the theme was, but seeing the game, I'm definitely a lot more interested. Like, I have no ties to Dune at all, but Barrels of Fun just have a way of making a very cool looking playfield and tying in all these mechanics that make me want to try it out. And of course, King Kong was the exact same thing. This was a theme I wasn't excited for at all. I didn't know which direction they would go, and they went with fun. There's a beautiful machine, whether you go with Pro or Premium. Of course, with Premium, you're getting so many extra features. A lot of people are going to say they're just toys, but you really got to play them to tell the difference. I wish I could have went to Stern this week and checked it out, but I'm going to be anticipating my next trip to somewhere where I can go play pinball so I can finally check out King Kong. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of these two new pinball machines? Is there anything there you're really excited to play? Or if you're bougie, are you planning on picking one up? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next time.